Welcome in the evening, folks. A very good evening to each and every one of you. Welcome. Happy to have all of you here with us this evening. We've done away with our intro, our theme song, and intro montage until we get a new one. We're good to have all of you here with us tonight. Do let us know if you're hearing us loud and clear. We're seeing all the lights bumping up and down, which says we got good sound going out. How are you folks doing wherever you're joining us from this evening? Great to see you, Beatrice, Mark, Deirdre, Beverly, Mandy. You all here? We're starting at the top tonight, folks. Welcome. I missed the intro. I missed that intro music. How you all doing? Nigel McKenzie. Do let us know if you folks are hearing us loud and clear. We're supposed to be on Facebook, and we're supposed to be on the Tube, and we're supposed to be some other places as well. Do let us know if you wonderful folks, you are receiving us loud and clear. Yvette, I see you there. Dan Fordyce, I see you there as well, and all the other beautiful folks who are joining us this evening. Share the broadcast. We're gonna hold for the others. We know that you guys are accustomed to the theme music playing, and then we take a minute or two to come on. But here we are, folks. Here we are. Here we there. How y'all are doing, folks? I trust y'all had a good day. From the time the day started, you were fired up, ready to go. You hit the ground running. Good night to all of those persons who's sharing the broadcast for us. I see Glycis, Diane, Roxanne. Joy is here too. Joy Wong is on the live. Glycis Mingo Byrne is here. Dan Fordyce, Roxanne, Marlon Thomas is here. Marlon, I was reading some of your comments. Marlon, I was reading some of your comments, and the post that we did have Divin Sears. Well, we come in there. How you all doing, folks? We hope you all have had a good day, a good weekend. It's been a very long weekend here in Guyana. Diwali holiday yesterday. It's been a very long holiday here, and maybe too much time for people to do all kinds of things. Too much time, but good to have you all here tonight. Tonight, some folks have been saying that we have not been dealing with some issues. Not as far as I know. Not as far as I know. How are you folks doing where you are? Some people say we have not been dealing with a few issues. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. We deal with everything head on. But good to have all of you here, wherever you all are joining us from tonight. Happy and delighted that all of you could join us in the ring. How are you all doing? Share the broadcast as we hold for the others to come. Somebody say, "Oh, the intro playing. We can hold. We can stay in a holding pattern. We're going to hold, but every day is not the same. Every day is not the same. But good to have each and every one of you on the live tonight. I see Brenda, we got Irwin, we got Donna, we got Dolly. Savage is here. Renwick is here as well. I see Rihanna Mingo is here too. Great to have all of you on the live, folks. Great to have each and every one of you on the live. Yeah, I think we could hold a second or two. We could hold a second or two for the latecomers. Trying with some new colors here today. You all don't come around we funny. Trying with some new colors. Start Tuesday on a high note, hopefully. Hopefully the contrast nice against this thing. Good to have all of you on the live, folks. You ever wake up good? From a parliamentary colleague. Wake up good. I don't know what's the matter with some of you. Let the Lord take its course. Holding for some of you another 30 seconds or so. Marlon Thomas, Sheena Hazel, good to have you on the live. Vanessa and Colleen and, oh my God, Gail, I see here. Rena Williams, good to see you on the live tonight. Who me is here too. I'm trying to give you guys a snapshot. Some of the things that happened over the last 24 to 48 hours. So much is happening. You blink, you miss some of it. But sometimes you got to unplug from it, right? Wilma said, brother, sometimes you got to unplug. Listen to me. Something happened to you tomorrow. Life goes on. So you don't feel guilty to unplug sometimes, to pull back, to pull away, to assess. Angela Jordan, Angela, thanks for the thing. Thanks for the thing. Take me real good. See? Thanks for the thing, Angela. Thanks for the thing. How y'all doing? Some of y'all fast, you know. Some of y'all fast. Linda says we need a clean voters list and we need biometrics before the next election. I ring the bell. One time for Linda. Right? One time for Linda. Diane and Elise and Desiree. I see Rhonda's here too. Rhonda McDonald. Adi is here. The right Rhonda. Greta Jones is here as well. All the other folks who are joining us. Let's get to it, folks. Welcome in the ring officially. Welcome, 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 welcome to each and every one of you. Trust you guys have had a great long weekend. Those of you who are in Guyana, those of you in the diaspora, my God, it's coming on to fall. It's fall. That's when the leaves changing. How y'all doing? Yeah, got some beautiful sceneries there, man. Wish I was in Connecticut all now. You know, South Carolina, North Carolina. You can only go where invited. You can only go where you invited. I don't talk. Right? Jamal, Emily, Desmond, Paul and Grace, Maxine, Renella, Leslyn. You can only go where you're invited. Well, how y'all doing? Happy to have all of you here with us this evening. We got to touch a couple of stories. Somebody said we've been running from it. You ever wake up, good. It's not my problem. People and people problems. I can't live people's life for them. Everybody got to live their own life. You can't live people's life for them. You know, much more people do this, do that, walking, go there, sit down, stand up. You got the time for it. I'm certain some of us try that. Ganga Day Lloyd from region number 3. Good to have you on the live, Ganga Day. Good to have you on the live. Ganga Day is one of our young politicians in region 3. One of our councillors in region 3. She come in real nice. You know, she was with us on Saturday, I think it was, at where was that? Potential was with us there on the ground. Folks, you give Ganga Day a shout out, you know. Sometimes you need a little something to keep going. Ganga Day, you did well. You're doing well. Continue to represent us well in the region. You got far to go. I see it. You got far to go. When your spirit clean, you see things. Far out, you see things. You know? If you even talk to me, if you had spoken to me, you see? But it is what it is. It is what it is. By now, you know, former AFC politician, I saw the party said he's still an active member, can't say former. AFC member, Devin Sears, was held overnight. It's held overnight, and I saw the amount of cannabis, sativa. I saw the label that says, for purpose of trafficking. Devin Sears out of Region 10, along with one Albert Sandy. They were held at a checkpoint in Bami, if you know your real estate there in Linden. 310 kilograms of cannabis hidden, we're told, in the Region 10 tourism bus. Hidden in the bus. Like I've said, the bus was stopped at the Bami checkpoint. And Sandy, this farmer, reportedly admitted that the marijuana belonged to him, but said that he had paid Sears to transport this illicit narcotic to Puerto. Transporting ganja to Puerto, put it simply. That's what we're being told from reports, that the vehicle contained 22 black plastic bags and 4 brown canvas bags filled with cannabis. As I said, I saw the Alliance for Change put out a statement today urging the public to allow due process, which means somebody's innocent until they're proven guilty. Due process. innocent until they're proven guilty. Right? Allow the process to work. Also saw the Region 10 Tourism Committee, of which their boss was involved. I think Mr. Sears is a part of the Region 10 Tourism Committee. And they were very strong to say that his actions do not represent the Tourism Committee. His conduct was in his private capacity. But it too had said that allowed due process, and it also noted that Sears had resigned from the committee. Sears had resigned from the committee. Allowed due process. Please, innocent until proven guilty. I did think I saw a comment by Nigel Hughes on one of the events posts. It said strength. That's all the comment said. Strength. Right. So that there it is. There it is. Due process. Let the law take its course. Right. Let the law take its course. Again, the report indicated that Sears had said to the authorities when stopped and questioned what they were transporting, that they were transporting, he said they were transporting tourism plants. Right? They were transporting tourism plants. And they said they were sweating profusely as officers began to search, or perhaps this is what led officers to begin the search of the vehicle as to what they were transporting. Of course, this is social media, and I've been noting all of the conjectures. You know, somebody rat them out, rat out David. You know, somebody they think I'm part right, and somebody think as long now they're doing it. It's 2 years now. Well, I don't know all of that. I don't know all of that. But it's a serious offense. I don't want to downplay that. It's a very, very serious offense. Right? Cannabis sativa, it is not legal. I think you are allowed a very minimal amount. You can face custodial sentences and all manner of things. But this 310 kilograms, 22 black plastic bags and 4 brown canvas bags containing this cannabis, transporting it from Region 10 to Region 3, Purica. That's what the report said. And of course, no doubt, you wonderful, beautiful folks, you've had to see as well on social media. Right? Leslin says somebody letting the ganja pass. Right? Carmen Bailey says if he resigned, how he got the bus. Well, Carmen, I think he resigned today. I think that is what they meant to say in the press statement. That since this event unfolded, he resigned in the wake of this. Yep, tourism plans, Marlon. Tourism plans. Who knew? Who knew? Like we've said here, you know, if we were to add to this discussion, Thomasina Ben, Onessa Ward, and James and Desiree, and all the other folks, if I'm to add here, right? If I'm to add here, we have said before, right? The thing is illegal, it remains illegal. But we got to work our way from there to where we believe the process is. We believe that the science has now overtaken the stigma of cannabis sativa, ganja. We believe the science, and of course, we've told you before as well that GECOM has done a massive study on this. And quite a few CARICOM countries have gone in this direction of legalizing it, properly regulating it, right? And I think that's where we have to go to as a society. And the science has overtaken all the medicinal purposes and what's not. But while it remains illegal, we have to comply with the law. That's my take on it. While it remains illegal, we have to comply with the law. So we said let due process take its course. Let due process take its course, and we move from there. That being said, folks, and other things we're following tonight. My God, there's so much happening. What a weekend it was. This horrific shooting of this young woman in East Ruimveldt. Horrific shooting of Fidel Brewster. By now, you know also, they said to us that the two gentlemen on motorcycles were trailing Fidel's brother and had actually accosted him just outside their home. Just outside their home, they meant to rob him of his jewels and cash, and probably even wanted to take this new motorcycle he had just purchased. And Fidel, seeing this scuffle outside, or hearing this scuffle outside, ventured out to see what was happening, and perhaps even tried to intervene when one of the armed assailants discharged a round in her direction. We were told the brother ducked or something of that nature, and the warhead struck Fidel. And then we're also told that the second assailant said to the first who had fired his shot, "Shoot you again." And we visited the family yesterday. The sister, Fidel's sister, recounted this ordeal, and the grief was so thick. I don't want to exaggerate, but there's something that happens when there's death in the air, like it shrouds, it covers everything, and there's a profound sadness just hanging in the air. That was how I met this family yesterday, as you can imagine. It is one of the most senseless deaths. Senseless. Because them boys behaving now, they give you something to keep. Coming to the aid of her brother. She was shot, and then the second person said, "Shoot you again." And of course, if you've been following the online chatter concerning this, the comments online and so on, it seems that in the south of the city, over the last few weeks and months, it's been an uptick in criminal activity. See, all these plans, we're changing ministers of home affairs, and people digging their heels where it concerns Police Commissioner Clifton Hickins, people anchored down. But all that is well and good if we can see some results. If we can see some results for the investment we're making. Trillions and trillions of dollars budgeted every year, billions going to this, and if we see some results, you wouldn't mind the off case, the off chance. But you could hardly walk this city, and I know this area in East Ruimveldt. As a teenager, you were sent all over market and this and that, and you ventured into this was your domain. I know all these areas in East Ruimveldt. Know the fish you sell on the range and this and that, and quite peace-loving people. You got one and two botheration people like any place else in this country. But police said they've held 2 suspects. They've held, when my wife was telling me about this, well, recently I said, look, I try not to get excited when I hear people are held. We talk about due process and letting the law take its course. When we see convictions, I can say, yes, justice has been done. Right? Police are alleging these guys know something that's up. And so these guys were apprehended. See the government saying that they've used the smart city CCTV cameras and were able to identify these guys. Like I said, until we're seeing some convictions, only then can we say justice has been done for Fidel Brewster. And even then, because what is a life? What is a life? What is a life? You know? So these guys will have their day in court, and let justice take its course. We want justice for families. Right? These people are going about their own business. They didn't trouble nobody. And I've made to understand that the CCTV cameras picked up them trailing the brother. You know, he was not speeding or anything like that, trying to evade them. From what the family told us, it looked as they were trailing him for quite a bit. You know, our thoughts and prayers with the Brewsters. I haven't had a chance to meet the mother. As I can tell, no doubt, tremendously overcome by grief. But I met Fennell's sister and father yesterday, and I listened to the mother on Big Smith News Watch. Did a great interview with the mother. My God, it's like you were right there, living that pain with this family, you know, living that pain. And we spoke with the family yesterday, and then after we were done talking with them, you know, we just kind of hung around, just, you know, saying, my God, we got to stop this madness. We might not be able to prevent every single instance, but we got to send a strong message, right? And I think that begins with a very strong Home Affairs minister. I don't know the kind of minister Onich Waldron is going to be. I mean, she got 5 years, and she better step up. Because I figure one of the reasons why they moved Robeson, because they weren't getting the effect that they needed. Maybe he got too complacent. You're there too long. That happens in leadership. Your best idea is no longer flowing. You plateau. You got to move. Well, they move him. Onish got to step up now. Step up and lead this thing. We got to protect our families. Protect our families. We can't get Fennell back. But in her name, we could do better. You know, we must do better. In her name, we must do better. Our thoughts and prayers with the Brewsters. We'll keep on top of that. Our thoughts and prayers with them. You know, it's interesting, this country, depending on where you live. Depending on where you live. I saw a teacher in Scribble walked into the offices of a rice mill, threw mud and muck and dirt on the counter, and then began throwing it at somebody on the other side of the counter. You know, he just began throwing it. Take a look. Yeah, you saw that for yourself. I saw a couple of news houses says this was residents protesting dust and smoke at the rice mill there in Essequibo. Right. So when I read this headline of this protest, I was scrolling down. I said, looking for the photographs of the placards and, you know, rice miller must go and less smoke, more health or something like that. Looking for the placards. And all I saw was screenshots of this. You know some folks, you have to be real with me. You know some folks in different parts of the country. When you throw down some mud on a counter, sweet Jesus, the whole squad, the whole SWAT. You hear hooligans and thugs and they're protesting. They're protesting at Vilvoorden and Fairfield. Right? Report said the residents have been choking on dust and smoke from Vilvoorden Investment Inc. the rice mill, despite a court order. And the teacher threw mud, right, inside the mill's office during a protest. He was arrested. That's the protest. 5 people outside GECOM. You would see SWAT and men riding around on motorcycles and right, them boys priming up the guns and so on, the shields and everything. People come taking your photograph. What's your name? Writing your name down. It's protest. Protests look different. Different parts of this country. Looks different. You can't just go throwing mud on people like that. What if the guy behind the counter retaliated differently? No, I don't know what you're throwing there. That's fecal matter. Is got a little acid mixed in, some corrosive substance mixed in there. You can't just go throwing stuff on people like that. But the story of the dust pollution, we're told that the EPA and the court has ordered that the mill remove piles of paddy husks, stop burning them, and to install a water system to reduce this dust pollution by December. You can't just go pelt it. Mud at people. That's not going to end well. It's not. It's not. Please, don't let's do that. Let the law. That's what the law is for. And let's try to exhaust those options. Exhaust those options. Yeah, package it at the gardens. Back from Essequibo, different than the side back. Package at the Promenade Gardens. I have such fond memories of the Promenade Gardens. Such very fond memories of the Promenade. You've been to the Promenade Garden. Very beautiful place. Very fond memories. A suspicious package was left there recently, right? Spotted by a city council, wrapped nicely, package. Very, very suspicious. Listen now. Brace yourself. The police and the SWAT unit secure the area, right? And use an explosive ordnance robot to open the package. Gotta exercise caution. I wonder what was the police intervention at Essequibo, Fairfield. And what was the contingent at Fairfield for this package to bring out the police, they bring out the SWAT, they bring out the explosive ordnance unit, right? But inside this package, they found only paper. Paper folded into the shape of a firearm. Something out of that. In this package, they found only no mud, no dirt, just paper folded into the shape of a firearm. Right? It's confusion powder in this country now. Confusion powder. Paper folded in the shape of a firearm. Well, of course, the authorities, they've cautioned the public. I caution y'all. Don't leave your packages in public spaces. Don't leave your signs, projects, or what have you in public spaces. I'm certain that's going to be a $10 million operation. Bring out the police, the robot, bring out the SWAT. Michael Reed, Melissa Jonas, Deborah, that's Deborah Jones, that's easily a $10 million operation. You got to bring out the police. You got to bring out this. Right? It's confusion powder. I know how else to put it here. Confusion powder. We're watching the time. We got another 20 minutes with you. Beautiful folks. It's confusion powder. Don't leave your package all over the place. Now, I heard folks say, all generations is the same. None different. The same things this generation did. The same things the last generation did. And some of what I saw recently, I'm sorry we don't have it queued up. A funeral on the East Coast. When I look at them big auntie operating, I could imagine them 20 years ago, 30 years ago. When I see them big auntie, makes a whop, whop, whop. You know, bend forward, bend backward. I said, what? They learned it yesterday. You know, you can't pretend to them children. Everything is everything. You know, you come the straight and the narrow. You know, you had some night in them streets. You know, you jump through a window or two. Right? When you can take to the ground, big auntie looking like 70, 80. Funeral's different now. Funeral's different. Or maybe people do funerals different. You know. West Coast Beast got a different funeral setting. And I'm observing the East Coast. Because my wife brought the video to me. She said, well, you can tell me now. No, she's a girl from 28. Right. Well, she's really from Ruimveldt. She born at 28, and that's what she claimed. She'll live most of her life at Ruimveldt. She spent 1 month at 28. 30-something years she live at Ruimveldt, but she's from 28. She said, well, you can tell me. We are tongue people can tell me now. Look story here. East Coast. We watching. You all saw that? That's not my aim. Who me? Sheila boy child. Big aunties may go whap, whap, whap. That's not the aim. But I use that analogy to say, you know, this next generation, when you all carrying on like that, we until this next generation. We told at the Campbellville Secondary School, the students there want to get involved in AI. They're on the right path, but they're misusing the technology. They are misusing the technology. They're on the right path, you know. This is the future. I was listening to an article today by Foreign Affairs magazine, you know, 45 minutes. And one article, you know, thorough journalism, Foreign Affairs magazine, an international magazine. And they were talking about the different ages we've lived through. You know, the industrial age. This is the AI age. That's where we're in. I'm happy our kids are interacting with the technology. But you see how we got to channel them the right way? You see how we got to channel them the right way? I'm fascinated, personally, by artificial intelligence. Fascinated by it. And every chance I get, I try to, you know, do my readings and so on. And my practice too. You all don't come around with funny. But the misuse of the thing, like any technology, like any invention, like any evolution, and any product, the misuse of it, you know. And in this 13th Parliament, I'll be talking more about this. One of the areas that I'm really interested in. Right? And this is where we're going as a world, as a humanity. The kids are on the right path. Right? But they're misusing it. So we told that the kids at the Campbellville Secondary School allegedly use artificial intelligence, AI, to create a deepfake pornographic video of a female teacher and later attacked her home with squibs and bricks. You see this? Ruimveldt Secondary School. We got to take these young ones in hand. That's not how you do it. But we got to talk to our kids, Parents at home. Your kids come home. I feel when kids come home, too many parents are out working. I understand the socio-economic situation in this country. One of the things I respect my wife for a lot, because she carries that to our family with our son. With our smallest son, she carries that for us, right? And so I can understand. I can understand that parents want to be there, but the challenges of work, putting food on the table, keeping the shelter over the kids' head. But we still got to talk with them. Christopher Chichester said, a wicked set of children. The bad for so. Hey. You leave our kids alone. We got to talk to them. Don't give up. Don't let's give up on our kids. Don't let's give up on our kids. They're too young yet. 15, 16, 17. You only live. You all know the thing. We've been there. How wickedness you all and do when you are in high school. If I start now, Kaichor News, Tabuk News, everybody got me front page tomorrow. If I tell you all some of the things we did when we were in Ishmael, Indian Education Trust College, Richard Ishmael, they had a room, was abandoned for a little bit. We call it Red October. You remember that film by Sean Connery? Hunt for Red October. It was Sean Connery, right? Yes. Red October is danger. Right. Nobody ever go in that room, come out the same way. What happened in that room, stay in that room. Red October. You don't want to talk the truth. Some we born big. Yvette, some we born big. Understand what the kids going through. You know what keeping the straight and narrow? My mother used to bust your tail with a broom. Now that was the only thing that she hadn't reached. Bust your tail with a broom. Right now it's corporal punishment and all these different things. I kind of thinking with the new age thing to myself. I don't like beat chairing like that. Still traumatized just thinking about the broom. kept me on the straight and narrow. Made me forget about Red October for 10 or something years until I saw this thing here. Pornographic video of teacher. took me right back. My God. Right back to Red October. Precious memories. How they linger. How they ever flood my soul. But the kids, we got to keep them on the straight and narrow. Then the right path, you see. But they're misusing the. Some of y'all born big, some of y'all drop. Why you say just fly over y'all head? Y'all never do nothing wrong. I know some of them big auntie at the funeral, they going home and light them chair, Oh my God. Precious memories. Gem Reeves in his skin. How they linger. Tell them kids the truth. Had not been for the Lord on our side. Gone down a long time now. Linda Booker. It's gone down long. We can't do this to our kids. It's wrong. Our teachers, it's wrong. And we have to enforce that as wrong. It's wrong. You're pelting the teachers' houses. What's the matter with y'all? Right? They don't want correction. But we got to find a way through that. Around it. And don't give up on our kids. What they're doing is wrong. It's wrong. Misusing the technology. Misusing even the squib. The bricks. It's wrong. It's wrong. Right? And whatever is coming to them, they deserve it. Punishment-wise. But don't let's give up on them. Right? You think you understand the balance? Don't let's give up on them. Just yet. Don't let's give up on them. So that was going on at the Campbellville. Campbellville Secondary School got to be different. Different. Fishermen missing. Wrapping up. We're coming down. Fishermen missing. They tell us a boat sunk in Suriname's waters. A fishing boat. Right? Sunk in Suriname's water, leaving 4 Guyanese nationals. Right? Identify 1 as the boat owner and 3 as crew missing. Do we have a standard? Like all these boats must have a beacon, what have you, whatever it is. You know? Do we have that, or people just cast out to the nets? You know? The owner's wife said to the media that he phoned to say the vessel was taking on water and that the crew were floating on ice before the call was cut off. The owner of the boat, the wife called and said, the husband called her to say, the boat was taken on water and they were floating on ice. The Surinamese authorities, including the National Army, Marine Corps, and police, they're telling us that the search operations continue for these men. Let them return safe to their families. You know? Let them return safe to their families. I'm told an election petition was filed as we wrap up. I'm told an election petition was filed. Is this coming out of Forward Ghana movement? Brought by one Crystal Fisher against the Ghana Elections Commission. Elections petition. Well, isn't that clear? They said bring the thing through the election petition. Leader of the opposition, Aubrey Norton, wrote to her on several issues. Kind of getting very political now, you know. Very, very political now. Overtly political. And all of his observations and challenges that he had with the elections, he said, the rightful place is the elections petition. And now you got the GECOM advisor. Is he still advising GECOM? Alan Landalal. He said this petition is unmeritorious. It's like the one big word he knows. Unmeritorious. Vacuous. Spacious. That's what he said. Until they're bringing it. Until they come arguing the same thing. Right? That time will come, you know. That time gonna come, folks. We saw it before, and we're going to see it again. That time will come. It will come. If you are going to hide, let the people thing go through. Let the thing go through. When still fighting in Linden. When still fighting in Linden for the chairmanship. You know? Sometimes I marvel at Win. You know? At the spaciousness. I marvel at them. I marvel at them. I recommend to Win the Western Trial. There's a chapter in that book by Dr. Chedi Jegan. The Western Trial. There's a chapter in the Western Trial. You must read it. You want a good appreciation of Guyanese politics. You got to know where we come from, where we're there, and where we're going. Western Trial. There's a chapter in Western Trial by Chedi Jegan, Dr. Chedi Jegan. In office, but not in power. I think it's one of the early chapters in the book. You're going to go far. In office, but not in power. You must read it. Very instructive. Very instructive. Very instructive. Y'all think y'all need nobody. Make him win. He's the president. He's the next president. Yeah. All know. West on Trial. Recommended reading. Recommended reading. In office, but not in power. You can skip right to that chapter. Right to the chapter. And if you can't catch it from that chapter, we got to come out to politics. You're going to come out. So they're pushing for the recommencement of the election for the regional chairman. I think one of the argumentation was that there were several rounds to go before the chair could have decided, the chair of the proceedings could have decided there was nothing left to do but call for the intervention of the minister. Right? Long before you get there, this is their argument. There were a number of other things that could have been done that were not done. They're contending that after the first round of voting that produced this tie, the clerk of council, who was the area of the region, according to the law, he said, since we have a tie, we leave it to the minister. That's according to them. I wasn't there. I'm just giving you the reporting. But that being said, it was good to see some members of the new council, the councillors, some of the councillors there, moving around. And of course, in the regions, this is a little different everywhere you go. They're at a school today talking, I think it was Mackenzie High School, talking with the administration there about their concerns and challenges, and because all of that forms part of their submission for the budget for these schools that fall under the region. Right? It's good to see people out doing the work. That's what we got to do. That's what we elected to do. Demanding, nevertheless, that the election for chairman continues. Yep. So there's where we are on that, folks. There's where we are in that, and I think there's where we're going to leave it tonight. There is where we're going to leave it. As I reinforce, West on trial. West on trial. And, just before I go, let me leave you with this one. You see, I said to you early on that the chairman of GECOM should get a little political. She get a little political. Now, you have an opposition, right? When our government is elected, right, until that a person who is president-elect takes the oath, let's say there's a change of government. The next government, the incumbent, they got to keep executing. They're on the job. You're on the job. Let's say it's Mountain. Right? We are a country how we swearing people quick, because we want people to file a court action or whatever. So we swearing people quick. The Americans don't do that, as you know. Right? So let's say it's payday. You say, oh, until Lemba is coming, nobody getting paid. Let me wait till they come in. You got certain functions you have to execute. Now the chairman of GECOM, she suddenly have the interpretation that until the new opposition leader is elected, they can't do nothing. They ain't holding no meeting. Because that new opposition leader, he will have to pick his own GECOM representatives. So they ain't holding no meeting, then they're not doing the things they're supposed to be doing naturally. Right? It's not a case where you don't have commissioners, because the commissioners operate until another commissioner takes their seat. Has that been done? You see? History gonna be harsh. History gonna be unkind. History gonna be unkind to Claudette. Unkind to Claudette. If there's one person who started good and then take a nosedive, it's gonna be unkind to Claudette. It's gonna be very unkind to her. Bigly, she has gotten too political, and it's glaring. Right? And one of the things we're gonna keep pushing for is those recommendations out of the observer missions. We're going to keep pushing for that. And finally tonight, before you go. Right? Finally tonight before you go. I don't want to lose y'all and Claudette Singh. Give y'all terrible dreams or something like that. Right? Jennifer Ali, influencer Jennifer Ali. I never caught y'all off guard there. Influencer Jennifer Ali, her house burned down over the weekend. You know, thoughts and prayers with her and her family. Her house burned down over the weekend. You know, she might be your cup of tea, whatever it is. Might not be your cup of tea. Jennifer Ali. Right. They said she's listen here in this article, is a social media commentator. Her home was completely destroyed by fire last evening. Spilling a little too much steel wool over there in Block C. Block CC, Monrepo, East Coast, Demerara. Right. We saw Big Smith News reporting on this. Big Smith News Watch says firefighters were called to the scene, but were unable to save the wooden structure, which was quickly engulfed in flames. We're told there were no fatalities, thanks be to God, and the family has estimated their losses in the millions of dollars, including household items, appliances, and personal belongings. Yep, millions gone up in flames. Millions gone up in flames. Right? And we're told that the community is rallying with the family and supporting Jennifer Ali there, whose house burnt to the ground over the weekend, over the long weekend, yesterday. Our thoughts with them, you know. Yep. Rhonda Lane says, too much dear lights. Too much dear. Colin Reese, I see your comments there. Savage and the others, such and so forth. You know. Ebon, see your comment there. Some of y'all hate me right now. You know. Hate me right now. Right? Yep. Yep. You wake up good. You ever wake up good. Good. And then the thing take you. Let's leave on the high note, folks. Let's leave on that. Yep, y'all be careful out there. Stay safe. Right? Remember to unplug your appliances, walk in the corner. You know, out the days and so on. Once you finish, supervise them. Don't just light them. I'm not saying that's how the house burned to the ground, Jennifer Ali house. Right? But be safe out there. That's our time, folks. That's our broadcast. We're going to leave it there for this evening. We're going to see you guys in the next one. Thanks for joining us, each and every one of you. Have a great evening. Stay safe.